All right. We are in the place to be. Shut up, chickens. All right, we're in the place to be. What's happening? Who's in here? Oh, the beauty shark ginger, of course. That means that my day is made, you know. Actually, I'm going to interview the beauty shark ginger one day here because she's been such an amazing supporter, and I've learned from her as well. And she has a vast amount of knowledge. So I'm going to bring her on one day as well and teach you all, and have her teach you all some tips on the cosmetic world. I think she's a adjunct professor at Rutgers. Anyway, all right. So we're gonna hop. Oh, you know I got to pin this. You know, you see that? What is today? Today is Power Talks time. And I am going to bring on two people. Now, Bethany was supposed to come on, but unfortunately, Bethany could not make it. She will be on next week. That's how it goes. So don't think that, all the people out there that I love, when I got to brush you off a little bit because I got to move things around, don't take it personal. I do not take it personal with Bethany because most likely, if she's not on here today, she's saving somebody's life. That's how real she is. Or she's fighting for somebody's life. You may know her from the Housewives, and I had a preconceived notion of her when I met her, but I'm open-minded. And just so you know, when I first met her personally, we were on set of GMA or something like that, and she kind of just like brushed us off, or brushed me off really quick. And not that you're supposed to give me any kind of, you're not supposed to bow down to me at all, but just as a human being, I felt that she brushed me off. But I said to myself, you know what? You never know what kind of day she's having. You don't know what's going on. And then the second time I met her on the Shark Tank set, we were actually in the chairs, on Shark Tank. And she was brilliant. She was very, very, she was humble. She cared about what was going on with the entrepreneur and fighting for them. And it shows you, don't judge a book by its cover. And even after somebody may not have the greatest encounter with you the first time, always think about what they're going through. And then the second time, okay, they're an a-hole the second time, then they're probably consistent with the a-hole stuff. But anyway, shout out to Bethany. You're gonna see her next week, and even if she brushes me off next week, you're gonna see her the week after. All right, you know what? I've been really, I'm gonna shout you guys all out at the end, but I've really been denying you from some really great dad jokes. So I have a dad joke for you. It's more like a pirate joke. Who wants to hear it before I bring on my amazing guest today? I got two people you're going to learn from. But if you want to hear a dad joke, just let me know, and I promise I will share it with you. All right? Let's see who wants to hear a dad joke. Who wants to hear? Let me see. Gucci, what's up? Nice 2014 Globe Bell Skate 8. Thank you. Chitney said I'm the coolest shark. Thank you. All right. Carson and the beauty shark ginger want to hear a dad joke. All right. There's a pirate joke, but it's more like a dad joke. All right. What? Oh, I messed it up. What happened to Bluebeard when he got washed overboard in the Red Sea? Anybody? What happened to the pirate Bluebeard when he got washed overboard in the Red Sea? All right. Thank you, Matt. Lion King painted, thank you. You ready? Nobody said what yet. It takes a while. What happened to Bluebeard when he got washed overboard in the Red Sea? All right. He got marooned. It was so much funnier when I was just thinking about it. Anyway, make sure Wow, 6 people dropped off right after that comment. All right, there you go. After that joke. All right, so let me tell you who I'm going to bring on first. I'm going to let you let that joke digest, and I'm sure you're rolling your eyes right now, but you are going to use that tonight when you get home. All right, there you go. All right, so here's who I'm going to be bringing on today. I'm going to bring on today Eric Patrick Thomas. Let me tell you a little story about Eric Patrick Thomas before I tell you who he is. Well, you know what? Let me tell you who he is first, where's my notes on Eric Patrick Thomas, who Eric Patrick Thomas is? Because as you know, and you always do this when you're publicly speaking and things of that nature, have people do your intro without you there because it makes you feel really weird. Or unless you got a big head, then you're going to like it. Let me tell you who Eric Patrick, let me tell you who he is, Eric Patrick Thomas. All right. Okay, he suffered a spinal cord injury in 1997 that paralyzed him from the neck down. I believe that's a quadriplegic, I believe, but I'm going to ask him. Of course, he knows. Since then, he used his experience to empower resilience and inspire change for people facing barriers, serves the community as a motivational public speaker and at the House and Senate hearings, and sits on several state boards as a voice for people with barriers, is an advocate for self-determination living, and founder of the Inspire clothing brand. And his mission is of the Inspire brand is to urge, create, animate, and give rise to positive action. It's more than a word, it's a lifestyle that promotes awareness of people and barriers. Owner of Easy Awareness by Design, a business specializing in graphic design for custom apparel, signs, banners, and offers a job experience. But let me explain something to you. That what I just read there has absolutely zero impact to who he is. And when I bring him on here, because the world is all going to crap right now, I promise you that if you follow this young man and you listen to this young man, you're going to realize what you can do. I'm going to look for Eric right now, and let's see if I can bring Eric on. Boom, he's right there. Waiting for Eric Patrick Thomas. Bang.
Bang! What's happening?
Man, you looking clean. You got the head all shaved, looking sexy.
Yeah, look at
I
my
didn't even
back.
get to shave. I didn't even get to shave mine. Look, like you see, I'm getting a heavy amount of grays here. I mean, I can shave mine. So you see, here's how you could tell. Here's how you could tell. You see no gray here. I color all this in, but then soon I take off my hat. People are like, damn, you old. So.
Yeah, I had to shave. I had some grays to shave it. We got some clippers here, so John just gave me a one guard all the way through.
All right, so let me break down who you are, how we met, really quick, so people can know. So, did we meet in person at first when I was out in Flint? Or
November 2012.
November 2012? Twitter, I was kind of on Twitter here and there, but I think I met you at. Tell me where did we meet exactly?
We met in Flint at Mott Community College. The Coneys family, the Coneys,
Uh huh.
Craig and his wife, she brought you in to speak for your Shark Points. And so we met then. They had it all set up, so by the time you were done speaking, they pulled open the curtain. They said, "Hey, it's time for you to go talk to him." Then remember how it was? People were trying to get to you. They had to hold you back from like people trying to pitch to you, and yeah, but it was good. We got to
And you
talking.
just put the wheelchair in ninth gear and just plowed through people and just came down my way and been in my life ever since.
Yes, sir. Well, you said five. You said, "What's yours in 5 words? What's easy awareness?" I said, "Without awareness, you're invisible." You went, "Yeah, that works."
That's true. So let me make sure I want to do it not politically correct, accurately. You had a bad day. You said sometime in 1997 there were gunshots outside of a club. You were worried about saving your friend, and somehow this bullet hit you. And you are what is the term of you are right now?
Actually, it was outside of my house. It was
Wow.
my hip hop album release party for Miscellaneous. I went outside to make sure that nobody was in my neighbor's yard. And then I was at the steps, and then someone pulled a gun, and I got hit with the bullet in my third vertebrae, paralyzing me from the neck down, and then not able to breathe or speak or anything. I was just laying on the cement, just praying.
So you can't even move your hands. You can only move your neck up, and to move the chair, you have to blow into that device right there.
Yep, I give it so I gave it a hard sip to go forward and a hard sip to go backwards. Soft puff, soft sip. So right, left, forward, back. So it's just on like the pressure of your breath.
So this was 23 years ago, and now you also drive. You also communicate through email, texts, computers, and you basically are fully functional. And you can
Yeah.
basically only move from your neck up.
Correct. I don't drive my van. Someone drives me. I just pull up in the passenger side. But everything that I control is by voice. I use Dragon Naturally Speaking. So when I'm on the internet and I'm texting or messaging, I'm speaking all that. So every word that you see that I said to you, it's all through voice.
How long does it take you to get up in the morning, get prepared in the morning?
Uh, about an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours. It really depends on what I'm cutting. Like, if I'm trying to do like a full time, like, cause the caregivers got to come in, they gotta come in, give me a bed bath. They gotta check my skin. They gotta bathe, dress me, change my bag. They gotta do skin check. That's the more important thing is skin check, making sure that you do not have any redness or breakdown. Because if you do, you're either staying in bed or you're gonna not have a good day. So that's like the start of the day for having the most beautiful day is when they said your skin is all clear. That means you're all clear for the day. No bed
How,
rest.
how long does it take you to prepare to go to sleep?
Maybe a half hour to 45 minutes.
Okay, so we're looking at an average of around 2.5 to 3 hours for you to prep to wake up and or go to sleep. And I know that you've been on bed rest because of some sores. You've been on bed rest for approximately what? How many days was it?
It was the duration was about 670 days. That doesn't mean that I was always in bed because I was going to the wound care clinic like every 2 weeks and then going to like different doctors and the urologists and things like that. And I had a couple fundraisers for the van and then maybe a couple family functions, but not very much at all. And that was 670 days. So all I saw was the outside. I was on bed. So I didn't move off the bed at all. So
Six
on
hundred
the
and seventy days in the bed, and people are complaining about 3 months that they have to sit next to their husband or wife. Now, after that, with coronavirus, you obviously have underlying issues, I'm sure. What did you do then? I mean, was coronavirus or even now, because I'm sure you're secluded now, is it a challenge what you're doing now, or is this easy because you've already been through so much?
I think mentally it's easy because I think I've already had a lot of crisis, so I'm prepared in that type of aspect. But I had a plan together. I've learned to plan, and the plan of action was if it became a pandemic, that I would go over my caregiver's house where I am now. When I've been here for 13 weeks now, so I was still able to receive 24-hour care, and then all the rest of my caregivers and Jesse from Easy Awareness, they were all able to stay home, be safe with their families, and not have to drive to my house. Because I have on a given day about 4 or 5 people in and out of my house providing care in a 24-hour period. So that way, so I was able to be here, be safe, stay away, and do my social distancing, just kind of do what I had to do because of my respiratory. My diaphragm is mainly paralyzed. So even without coronavirus, anything respiratory, not a good thing. My cough is, that's my cough. It's not much, not much at all. So when I get fluid in my lungs, someone's got to like push on my diaphragm, like the Heimlich maneuver. And I've had it before.
Okay, so now I've set the tone. You and I became friends,
You turn the
off the
volume up,
social
John?
you and I became friends over social media. You often ask me more, what can you do for me than what I can do for you? And you reach out to me, even though the day I told you I was overwhelmed, you were like, let me know what I can do for you. How do most people would have given up a long time ago in the circumstances you're at. It's not like the circumstances you're at or you've been dealt, that God has dealt you, that you know that you're going to physically be able to walk. You probably will not. I hope that we're going to live long enough to have things that will be able to do that. But what kind of mindset? I think Woven not Swed, I think she said, that's her name here. She said you have a very strong mind. I mean, very strong mind is a understatement. How do you deal with that? And for all the people right now who feel like their life is over or they're challenged or it's just such a hard time right now for them, what are the tips or what things can you tell them right now that they can apply in their lives and that you have used with such a challenging situation?
Well, one thing, like I said, every day I just pray. I pray that I woke up, and I'm very grateful that I'm able to see another day, no matter what the circumstances did, whatever barriers. It's always a beautiful day because I woke up and other people, are not here anymore, and people wish that they could see their loved ones. So I live for them too, for people that aren't here anymore. Um, just I know I have these goals and I have dreams, and I want to achieve them. There's things that I want to do, and so no matter what, like I have to do what I have to do every day. I just I think about achieving that. I think about all the hard work that we put in, and it's like that drives me. It's like, and then helping other people, like the quality of life of a person. Like I'm like, man, I got to get up because I got people that also are needing help too. They're like their life is kind of upside down right now. So there's all those different factors. There's a lot of things that I still want to achieve. So I got to get up. I can't just sit there. I got a muscle spasm. That's a muscle spasm. But they hurt, yes. But,
Take your
but
time. Take your time, brother.
but but yeah. I just want to I don't know, live life. Live life, and I just got to get up. And if I'm not able to get out of bed, then I'm just gonna live it to the fullest of the potential to where I am. And when I put out goals, if I'm serious about them, then I'm going to do whatever I can 24/7. When I go to sleep and dream of that goal to get achieved. Then when I get excited to wake up, I get to work on the goal. So it's just how it is. Um, uh, but I would say, like, for people that are trying to deal with things, maybe also like get out of bed in the pad and start like writing out what their best day looks like. Like, what's your ideal day look like? And then just like wherever it can be, no, whatever, wherever you want to be on an island or whatever it is, who's there, what are you eating, and then figure out how to make that day possible. Say, okay, now I know what I want. Now, how do we make that day possible? Think about things like that. Listen, and then other things, it's like listening to books, like PowerShit, on Audible, listen to books on audio, things that are going to motivate you. Watch comedy, like listen to some dad jokes, laugh. Laughing is great. I like the laughter. That's really helped. I've tried to really watch a lot of things that are funny because it's good. I like to feel good. And whatever also makes me happy. Like karaoke, I'll go to YouTube, turn on karaoke. I'm not a good singer, but I enjoy it. And I enjoy, making jingles or singing a karaoke. It makes me feel good. And if I feel good, then I'm better for the day, and I can be better for other people too. Every day I want to be better. I want to be a better person. And when we get through this coronavirus, we're all going to come out better. The people that, we're going to be better. We're going to learn. You always got to learn too, no matter what the bad situation is. Learn from it. Educate yourself, raise awareness, and then come back better. Better than ever.
A lot of people, everybody in this world feels invisible at some time or another. You may have the people who are white who felt that, could be a lie or not, immigrants are coming into this world. Everybody's got this thing going on. We are now in a worse place and we need a representation. You have people who are coming over here from other countries who are saying, we're not welcomed here anymore. You have the African Americans who are living here who are saying, obviously, look what's happening to us. You have females that are saying that, listen, and I've been bringing this up lately I've been bringing this up in my interviews. You have females that are saying, since 1960, the women's lib has happened, and it takes all the way to a goddamn Weinstein for us to finally get our day in court, and that still doesn't mean that we are represented properly in corporate America. So a lot of people, everybody has a reason to feel invisible, right? But
Yes.
you represent what you believe and is the truth. an entire invisible community. Explain to us about the invisible community that you represent.
Well, a lot of people with disabilities, you straight that phone out a little bit, John. Uh, we just feel they're like invisible. Like, um, the things are made, like technology is made. It's made to be like hip and cool, but it's like, what about accessibility? Like, what about people that are not able to like see or hear or move their arms? Like, how does a person, able to function that product? It's like, why have you not thought about ways for me to do that? When they make new developments like buildings and things like that, I'm always looking, I'm like, where's the curb cuts? Where's the wheelchair accessibility? And you're like, you look at that stuff and you see the people walking around, everything in the blueprint, and you're like, where am I at? And then you hear like speeches, like presidential speeches, State of the States, and you're like, okay, any minute now, they are going to address people with disabilities. We are going to focus on ADA. We're going to focus on accessibility. We're going to make sure you have proper representation. We're going to make sure that that it's illegal, not legal anymore to pay a person with a disability sub-minimum wages, under minimum wage, because that's legal. These are things
It's
that has to be
illegal.
addressed.
It's illegal to pay somebody with disabilities under minimum wage.
No,
It's
it's
legal.
legal. It's legal.
How can they pay somebody with disabilities less than minimum wage?
It's called sub-minimum wage. There was an act back in 1932, I think. It was put in place to stimulate people with disabilities to be able to work. So, but you have to have a certificate. So a business has to have a certificate to file, and I forget what that's called. But they basically like look at like how long it takes for someone to like press shirts. Press something on a shirt. This person is an able-bodied person. It takes them. They can do 50 an hour, and this person that has a disability, they can only do 15 an hour. Well, they look at that and then they figure out how they can sub minimum that wage. It's
You know, you know what's sad about that. And the problem with this is we're all too connected, right? And I'm seeing, of course, all the people that are fighting for the injustice that I have grown up with. But last year we'll hear something about you're not fighting for women, then you're not fighting for against and I'm on the Petco board about our furry little friends. Then you're not fighting for global warming, and then you're not fighting for African Americans. Then you're not fighting for the people who are veterans and or the people who are invisible. And that's a big challenge for everybody, because I think that everybody here and all of us, we get overwhelmed with so many things happening, right? But and what we tend to find out is that it's not important to us until it hits us, right? Until we see it hit us.
right.
And but what somebody who's going to have disabilities, that most likely will happen to everybody in their life, because whether it's a veteran who has served this great country of ours and comes back and they have that, whether it's your child that is born with a disability, or whether it's your parents that sooner or later are going to be older, they're going to probably have challenges, I think, or whether it's yourself, I think that this is going to happen to everybody. And a fact that I love sharing from AARP is that we're going to end up taking care of our parents 2 times longer than they took care of us. They probably took care of us till we were 15 to 20 years old. But by the time we get to be about 40, hopefully they're going to be about 65 or 70. We may take care of them 30 years, right? Or maybe 40 years, right?
Right.
So this is something that is going to affect everybody. What are the small changes that we can do to address some of these issues, whether it's in voting, whether it's in, you know, I don't know. Give us some small actionable steps that we can all think about while we're going through our course of our day and our lives. And this just doesn't become a conversation that we all just forget 10 minutes later.
Well, people with disabilities have to have proper representation. We can't just keep having people that aren't disabled represent people that are disabled. It's like a lot of people are telling the disabled story, but they don't have the disability. So it's like the picture is kind of painted out there like this is what it's like to have the disability, but representation is huge. Education, making sure that we can get education. The hiring, why is a high percentage of people with disabilities not working, not able to get a job, which is going to change now because now the companies have all been teleconferencing from home. They've been working from home, which before when you went to go get a job, they would say, well, we don't have a position for you to work at home. well, we can't do that now. It's like, yeah, now you can. It took a pandemic to show it. But the other thing is also accessible transportation. Nowhere should I have went to LAX, get off at LAX, and I couldn't find accessible transportation to get to my hotel to downtown LA. And,
Oh, when I pull you out the Shark Tank.
yeah, yeah. I mean, they
Well,
didn't even have any van or anything. They had nothing. There was thousands
well,
of people fighting over cabs, but they had nothing accessible for me to just get to downtown LA. The same thing with flying on a plane. They still don't have wheelchair accessible planes. Like I still
let,
have to get carried like luggage out of my chair and into an aisle chair and then into an airplane seat and then get charged twice because I got to have a person fly with me too. That's the other thing. And first class bulkhead. So and then also when designing with homes, maybe when they're designing new homes, new buildings, new structures, having some people with disabilities on like like consulting, not just for mobility, but for hearing and visual, little person, all those different things so that they can say, have you thought about this? Because if a person's going to build a home, you want them to be there, like the forever home, age and place. Like you said, eventually a person's going to need some of these accessible, features for the person. So if you build a house that's got a first level bathroom that's accessible, or a zero entryway, barrier free entryway, then that person is something. If their knee gets injured or something, or if something happens to them, they can stay in the home. If not, they got to leave the home and try and find something accessible. So
let
those
me
are
ask
just
you.
some little steps, something.
So let me ask you one thing. I think you brought up a good point. Now with everybody doing Zoom and things of that nature, and there are so many able-bodied people, are there agencies that right now you can just mention to people that people can go to either get hired if there's somebody with certain challenges, or are there agencies I can go to hire virtual assistants or people of that nature? Do you know any right now? And if not, no problem. I could post it later.
Well, like to get hired, like there's a bulk rehab here in Michigan. It's called MRS, Michigan Rehab Services. There's places like the workforce development. Like, for my business, I get supportive employment. So with that service, I'm able to have an employee or a person help me with my business, like a job coach. So that's Jesse. That's who helps me with Easy Awareness by Design. So there are lots of programs out there, but you have to also you have to go through all the different red tape, and you have to get things justified. It's just hard to be able to just go out there, get a job, and you have to, unfortunately.
All right.
But it's getting better, and I'm sure after this pandemic, that's going to be able to open some doors, because a lot of things are like what was said before is hopefully, they'll keep with that. They'll say, yeah, you can work from home, or if you can only come in 2 days out the week, you can work from home. The rest of the week, that's good too. There's just a lot of different things that will come good of this. But yeah, there's organizations out there.
Well, as you find them, I want you to post them on your site, because I want everybody to follow you on Eric Patrick Thomas, and I want the last couple of minutes. Because I know I'm supposed to bring somebody else on right now, D. But tell me about your brand. Your brand is called Inspire, as well as I didn't even know that you had Easy Awareness by Design, a business that specializes in graphic design for custom apparel, signs, and banners, which offers on-the-job experience for people with all abilities. But tell us about the Inspire clothing brand and everything about it. Obviously, we know why you created it now after this conversation, but tell us how to get it and all that good stuff, because I want people to know about it.
Inspire is a childhood dream. Now, did I know that Inspire was going to be the clothing line that it was going to be when I was growing up? Nope, I didn't know that. But when it was just like everybody kept saying around me, inspire, inspire, inspire. So I was like, when I put it on a shirt and I went to go speak somewhere, and I saw like these kids with seventh grade class, the way that their eyes lit up with like inspiration, like it sparked something, it was a breath of fresh air. They wanted to like do better or something. I was like, wow, that's why I made that comment. I never knew how powerful one word could be until I wore it on a shirt, and I was like, we got to make this public, and it did. And then the people, it's the people that built that really grew the brand. You know, everyone that's supported you, everybody that wears it helps it grow, and it grows different branches and different purposes. You know, it's organic. It's amazing. It's a childhood dream. I love it. I hope when people wear it, they understand the story behind it. You know, I hope that it helps them do better. Maybe it brings out the best creative process of them, or maybe they're able to give someone that inspires them. Or if they're going through a lot of challenges, they put the shirt on and they're like, man, nothing's gonna stop me today. Nothing's gonna stop me. No barrier, no matter how hard life is, I'm gonna push through because I understand I'm wearing this Inspire as a shield, as a beam of light. You know, and that's where it is. It's grown so much. It's beautiful to watch, man. It's just amazing, globally. You know, and all the supporters, and it's what people you don't understand. When I see people wearing it, man, I just light up. I'm like, man, that's so great, man, and I just want to share it. And I want to share their story, and I want to share how it helps them. And I hope that other people see it and they go, wow, I like that. Like, it's not just about the clothing line. Like, it's the message, it's the lifestyle behind it. It's everybody that's the lifestyle, that how it's changed. We've seen change. Like it says, the lifestyle changed the world. We've seen change, and it's great. It's a positive change, and that's been the best.
Well, the best
It's been
way to
great.
say listen, you're like America's best kept secret. You know, everybody who sees you right now, I know they're inspired by you. The easiest thing to sell is the truth, obviously. So in closing, you know, I just want to, you know, a lot of people right now are scared. They're confused. They're really worried. They have a lot at risk, or they've lost a lot. What would you just say in closing to everybody right now? A way to think right now to get through these tough times.
Uh, there's hope. There's hope. It's gonna get better. And think about what makes you happy. If you gotta reevaluate things, like know about what's really important this time, and it was family and friends and relationships and the things that you cannot replace. And it was kind of like all of us had to kind of take a step down and pause and take a humbly, just to ourselves and think and reevaluate things. And then while we're waiting, start planning out. Like, man, what are you gonna do as soon as everything's opened up and you're able to be, out there getting back? Like, what are you gonna do better? How are you gonna be a better person? How are you going to communicate with your friends and family better? Like, think about what's really, really important to you in your life, because you only get one. And I would say that if you're feeling depressed, then think about what makes you happy and do that. Like, what makes you happy, and then start doing that. Like, and if the news and things like that is depressing, to you, then shut it up. Just take a pause, reflect, sit back. Whatever it is that you do that takes you to your serenity, to your happy moment, do that. And just be ready to be rock and roll. Write out your goals. Listen to Daymond. Write out goals. Have a target to aim at. It's obtainable goals. Have a plan. Just things like that. There's so much I've learned being an ambassador from on your book campaigns, that I was able to get my van. It was beautiful. I was.
All right. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate you, man. You and I will be, we'll be texting as we always do. And thank you for sharing your story with everybody. And everybody follow Eric Patrick Thomas, and keep inspiring people, Eric.
Man, thanks for having me, man. Thanks everyone for watching, and just keep watching, and then don't forget to go out and get PowerShift, or go download the Audible. It was awesome. I got it. And man, thanks for always supporting me, Daymond. Thanks for
you got it, brother.
You're like your family, man. You're the brother. You're my brother, man. For sure.
You're my man.
All right, man.
All right, bye.
Thanks.
All right. Listen, I don't know. Every time I talk to him, my eyes, there got to be somebody cutting onions around here, because, I hold back stuff because he inspires me so much, and I know that he inspires you that much. And you know what? Think about it. I'm trying to give him the light and everything. He's busy talking about PowerShift. He's always thinking about who else he can help. And I think that's why he is absolutely motivating. Oh, somebody's cutting some onions around here. Cut the onions up. Maybe the chickens are cutting onions around here. Anyway, so The next person I'm going to bring on is going to be just as inspiring and even more informative in certain areas. Has a very successful clothing brand, but I'm going to bring it up to you, and this is why you're going to learn from not just if you like clothing. This guy is the master of subscription models, which is absolutely amazing. So let me tell you who he is. So my man D Murthy, he's a co-founder of a LA-based 5-4 group and the brand Young and Reckless. So both 5-4 Group and Young and Reckless. 5-4 slash Menlo Club is the leading men's fashion membership e-commerce platform and includes the brands such as New Republic, Grand AC, and Oshenta. 5-4 recently celebrated 18th year of business. He's an investor and partner in Queensbridge Venture Partners. He also partnered in a shoe store, 12 a.m. Run. Co-host with Chris, aka Drama, in a top-rated weekly lifestyle podcast group chat. Breaks down the hottest news in pop culture, technology, politics, and more. Hosts his own business podcast, Detour. It's called Deetour, where he gives his insider opinion on building a brand, on fashion, investing in startups, and more. And just launched the Next Up Incubator, in which Menlo Club will pick one black fashion footwear brand owner. Maybe that's going to be you who's listening right now or watching. Owner, and offer them a variety of free services and access to their team for 1 year. Repeating this each year as long as D is the CEO. I'm going to bring him on, but you are going to learn from this, and whoever else dropped off, you're crazy because D is the man. There he goes right there. Boom. What up, D?
What up, man? How are you?
I'm really great, man. I'm glad to see you. Thank you for hanging out with me.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, man. Had a easy morning, so this is going to be fun.
Really great. All right, so listen, I'm going to hop right into it. I was always impressed by your model of the subscription model. It was really out there, I think in time, but more a little ahead of its time.
Yep.
And the subscription model, for all you who don't know what a subscription model is, I'm sure you do. But I always say that, after FUBU, when I was selling FUBU, I was about 5, and I still sell FUBU, but obviously when big retail was out, I was 6 or 7 steps away from the money. I had to make the product. I had to hope a buyer bought it from me, hope that the kid in the back took it out and put it on the rack. Then the person had to buy the product, and then they didn't return it, or the store didn't return all the excess goods that they had. So I was 6 or 7 steps away from the money. A subscription model, you are 1 step away from the money. There is somebody saying to you that I am going to get this Birchbox or this 5-4 or whatever the case is every month or every quarter or every whatever the case is. You have their credit card. In your case, their sizes. Me, when I had to bring in $20 million worth of product, I don't know at the end of that season, because of course it was during spring and nobody wants to wear spring stuff in a certain time. I don't know how many excess 34 jeans I have, large tops, purple, yellow, whatever the case is. When you have a subscription model such as yourself, and don't let me just assume, I believe this is a little more accurate. You know how many 34s, you know how many 36s, you know the person's size. The
Yep.
person also, especially females, 50% of the product that they send to females gets sent back, because all the ladies here know that sometimes you feel like you could wear a 10 and sometimes you feel like you could wear a 12. But if you don't know the way that things are cut, you order both of them and you fit on this one and you say this one's too tight or this one's too big and you send the other one back. Your customer knows their sizing, so you are getting a low form of returns comparison to what we get. So, in my business, in our business, you would make something for 25, you would sell it to the store for 50, and the store would put it out for 100,
Yep.
Keystone plus 2, whatever the case is. In your business, you can make it for 25, sell it directly to the customer for 50. They are getting the benefit of $100 worth of clothes. You're talking directly to your customer, and it's a win-win for everybody.
Yep.
All right. I'm not going to ask you the size of your business because that's not my business, but to just talk about one thing, and everybody will get this is kind of that moment on Shark Tank. You don't have 6 employees working for you, do you? Is that how big your business is? You got 6 employees, 7, 9? How many
North of
employees?
a,
How many?
north
How
of
many employees?
100.
How many employees? North of 100 employees. So that other people now can say, wait a minute. Okay, this ain't no, this ain't no Bobo just fell off a truck. He got north of 100 people. So I understand the business is significant.
Yes, exactly.
All right, D. All right. Now we're talking. Now let's get to cracking with my family on here, D. Talk to me. What are you doing today? And in this environment that we're going through right now, how are you advising people who may not have had that online presence, or they may not have maximized their presence? What are the things that they should be doing now to get those loyal type of supporters like you have?
So I think it's actually a once in a lifetime opportunity what's happening. Let's talk specifically retail and fashion. There's an enormous amount of like lifestyle changing habits that are happening right now, right? People are getting used to the idea of doing all of their shopping on the internet. So take my parents, for example. They were very against grocery shopping online, probably never bought clothes online. And in the last 4 months, they discovered Instacart, got groceries online. They're buying clothes online. They're buying shoes online. So the shift that was going to take 10 years to get more people to focus on e-com is happening in like 3 months. So like we just accelerated this enormous kind of time period. And so I'm really thinking about all the behavioral habits of how the customer has changed because of the pandemic and applying that to my business. So can you imagine like the idea of walking into a retail store, buying clothes, standing in line to pay, hopping into your car? Do you know how many wipes you have to use, how many hand sanitizer sprays, how many masks you're gonna have to put on, and you're gonna be mortified just to walk around anybody? So it's like, that obviously will change with time and a vaccination. But right now, people's psyche is like, the biggest thing people want to do is go to a restaurant. And maybe that's it. And that might be for a while. So I just think the way you should be thinking about this is the digital revolution is happening way faster than everyone expected. Like people had always said that there's a reason to have retail. And I do think there is points where retail makes sense, but not the experience that we kind of grew up going to. Like if you really think about like a Macy's has failed its customers in their customer experience. And so they have to make a really hard decision right now. Like we either are going to evolve or shut down. And that's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing the largest closure this year of retail stores ever. And it's only going to accelerate unless you make those structural changes in your business. So we're looking at this as probably the once in a generation opportunity that we've been waiting for. Because in 2008, we got smacked because we weren't ready. We lost customers. We didn't know how to pivot. And we luckily came out of it and we succeeded. But what's happening right now is like, I feel like it's a gold mine.
Did 2008 create your subscription model and you said I had to change after that point? Was that what happened?
Yeah, so 2008 made me realize direct to consumer. The problem was in 2008, I thought direct to consumer was retail stores. So I actually opened up 3 retail stores under the 5-4 name in Los Angeles and in popular malls. And then I quickly learned that men's retail concepts are not a good idea for a business. And so we started focusing on the internet, and we didn't really know how to drive traffic to our website really till Facebook advanced its advertising platform. When that happened, then everything changed. And that was really 2012 is when we launched the subscription, and 2014 is when it really took off.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that, we feel the pain in our business way before most people do, because they take the same shirt and wear it a bunch of times if they can't pay their mortgage. So you had to adjust to that. Now, the subscription model, and I'm sorry, I got only a couple of minutes. I'm going to have to probably bring you back on, because I think you and I could talk for about an hour on that.
Yeah.
What is the advantage of the subscription model, and how can people get their their followers to go into the subscription world with them?
Yeah, I mean, I think the beautiful thing about subscription is from the brand owner standpoint, it's obviously recurring revenue, which, in today's landscape, any predictability in your revenue is welcome. For the customer experience, you can build brand loyalty. You can build a better experience because that you have a customer here every month. I think what people think about subscription, it's a lot more work than what people realize it is, because trying to retain a subscription customer in a business like ours is very, very difficult. So we really pride ourselves on all the other things we do, which is community and content and really building a relationship with the customer. So think about it like this. Equinox, I think, is one of the best subscription models. It's a gym membership. And Equinox is equivalent to a social status for many people. So the idea of them leaving an Equinox means they're not part of this social group of people anymore. So that's what we have to do as a brand, is make it so that we are indispensable. Like, you can't cancel Netflix, you can't cancel Spotify, but clothing subscription, how do you make that indispensable? And that's, I think, what we've done a really good job is, it's the community. Because you're not just canceling a subscription service, you're canceling a community of people that represent you.
I think that's absolutely incredible, because a lot of people think it's just easy making and they will come. So whether they're doing a crowdfunding campaign, they go, I'm just going to put it up on a crowdfunding campaign and everybody's going to give me money, when they don't realize they have to go 3 months to 4 months prior, start doing some form of advertising marketing. They have to reach back to the people who successfully had their crowdfunding campaign and say, can you pay it forward? They have to do a lot of stuff and then just put it up. The same as some people would think, oh, subscription model, I got somebody paying me $20 a week. And the old theory of nobody wants to swipe that $20 off their credit card because it's more of a hassle, and they're just going to keep paying it. When you're right, Netflix and Amazon and some of these other ones, they're great because they're giving you the thing you want. But yeah, maybe I don't want more clothing or don't want more makeup, Avon or whoever the case is. So you have to build a community, because they feel like if they don't know that, they don't know what's going on in that world. They're not hip anymore. They met so many friends, whatever the case is. I think it's the same with retail. Retail has to create event spaces. I've always said that Macy's needed to have a live cam where people who are the most fashionable people from around the world are buying there, but they're putting together outfits and showing you how they rock out, and then they can tell them to follow them on their IG, but they're in that big IG in the middle of Macy's online showing people how they rock. You know what I mean? And so you make them say, well, I want to go there, and you make everybody around the world go, let me pull up what's going on in Macy's today in the men's section or the boys section, or the wedding section and stuff like that. So community is the biggest thing you're saying.
Yeah, and a great example in retail is actually Lululemon. Lululemon, has stores all over the world, but they use local brand ambassadors. So if you live in Venice, California, and when you walk into the Venice Lululemon, all the pictures are local yoga instructors, local cyclists, local runners, and that makes community, because now you're telling everyone in the community, there's a way to localize your business. You could be a global brand and still localize your business. And I think we've learned, because we learned the hard way on Facebook advertising. We spent millions of dollars on all these platforms, and all we were doing was just churning through customers. And the moment we actually realized it was about community and building an attachment, our business changed.
I went through the flip side of that, of having an ego in FUBU and saying, we're bringing in goods, and we wouldn't go and do the local stuff like that. I mean, we would give to local charities and we would have artists, but we were like, how can we break that up and go that tiny? And I learned the hard way, because other people did go that tiny. I mean, a huge conglomerate like Nike will make one sneaker, one colorway for somebody, but you'll say, well, wait a minute, these guys are doing $30 billion a year. Why the hell would they make one sneaker? But they're basically crowdsourcing the design, because they find that one sneaker starts to pop off in different places. Now they've got their color line for the next year, right?
Exactly.
So they're sourcing local community, and local community is giving you your best thing ever is feedback, right? And they're also ambassadors, and that's what other people can learn from us today on here.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you something else. A lot of people out there are scared and they're challenged, in their business, and you did say it's a great time. What would you suggest to business owners, CEOs, or, even small business owners? Because everybody thinks that you and I, we're CEOs. We walk on water. We have no problems. You know what I mean? There's no issue for us. We're going to be okay no matter what. And we know that couldn't be further than the truth. Nothing can be further than the truth. And a lot of people here know that too. They're under a lot of stress, right? What would you say to the heads of businesses, whether they're one person in the shop or they have over 200 people working for them? What would you say right now is what they should be doing and looking forward to?
So I think the biggest thing I learned is when you're a CEO and a founder and you have a vision, if you have an ego, that ego sometimes gets in your way. And I'll give you a great story. In the beginning of this pandemic, I thought my business was going to collapse. I literally felt like I thought I was having a heart attack, but it was just like a panic attack. And in that 24-hour period, the governor shuts down California, says warehouses are open in LA, though. You can keep shipping to e-commerce. So we're like, we're going to be fine. Our business is going to be allowed to be open. The next day, the police come to my warehouse and say, you have to shut down. You're not essential. That was 10 a.m. By 3 p.m., I started a mask and hand sanitizer business, all manufactured in LA. And I said, we have to be essential to survive. The whole idea was really like, let's just be helpful to our community so that we'll be allowed to operate our businesses. That turned into a business. We sold $5 million of masks in the last 60 days. And what I realized is I have a skill set. My team has a skill set. We have resources, but like we had to pivot. Like I'm still going to be in fashion when all this is said and done. But in that moment, I'm not going to have an ego and say, this is all I'm going to do. It's fashion or die. Whatever I have to do to pivot and pay the bills, I'll do it so that I get to continue my dream business. And I think in 2008, I would have had an ego about it and said, no, I'm a fashion guy. I'll never do anything else. And I even told myself when I said, should I really be making masks? That's corny. And I changed in 24 hours when I sold 25,000 masks in one day. And I was like, oh my God, no more ego. We need to focus all our energy on it. And I think that's what I've realized is that in these times, your vision will get disrupted short term, but it could be for the best because you'll evolve and you'll slowly be able to hone in on, you got to have the money, you got to have the resources to actually execute. And sometimes you got to do things you don't want to do. It's like when I was starting this business, I threw parties to pay for the screen printing. And like, that's how we got our first collection out. It's like, I think the ego got us in more trouble than anything. And I think I've finally grown up to a point where I can accept when there's failure ahead of me and I have to adjust.
That's great. Basically you're looking at your inventory, and everybody here watching us has inventory. I don't know what it is. It could be money, time, brain, connections, Rolodex, the ability to manufacture. I love sharing the story. Excuse me if I get the names wrong or right. But Marriott or Hyatt are one of them. I think they outsourced all their employees to either CVS or Walgreens or Walmart because everybody was going in there trying to steal take all the toilet paper, and they had this highly trained staff that they could have let go. And, in normal business, a lot of times, you know what you do? You let them go, especially sometime like this, and then you reset at a smaller cost. You be like, hey, we can't hire that many more people. Or you were at $25 an hour, we're going to take you at $17 an hour, and you get to reset, right? However, they didn't do that. They outsourced them to someplace that needed them. Now, Walgreens or Walmart or wherever has them, they have highly skilled workers. Hyde and old guys know that they're not going to get poached by anybody when the business does come back, and everybody was happy. They got to keep their staff working. They got to close down and do whatever they need to do. And Walgreens,
Yep.
Walmart, or CVS got to use an amazing staff that was highly skilled, that knows how to talk to people without having heavy turnover. So, listen, D, I got to hop off right now, man. I got so many more questions for you. I don't know. First of all, let me find out your podcast and all that stuff, because I know these little bit of nuggets is like you gave me like 3% of what you know, man. Let me see. The podcast is
It's called Group Chat.
all right, spell it.
Group, GROUP, chat, and Detour, DEETOUR.
All right, so everybody can check you out on there. I'm going to bring you back on when you get a chance, and hopefully I can get to do your podcast with you and do some more stuff with you, man. I love you, brother. Thank you for inspiring everybody and giving them the information.
I appreciate you. Thanks for your time, bro.
All right, peace.
Take care.
I need to get on a call with Sony right now. I'm late.
Okay, got it. You got that right.